The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. Law number 1. Never outshine the master. Always make those above you feel comfortably superior. In your desire to please or impress them, do not go too far in displaying your talents, or you might accomplish the opposite, inspire fear and insecurity. Make your masters appear more brilliant than they are, and you will attain the heights of power. Especially that last part sounds very promising. In order to fully understand, let's take a look at history and learn from others' mistakes. The law has been observed in the story of King Louis XIV and his finance minister Nikola Fouquet. First of all, who was Louis XIV? Louis XIV, as the fine Frenchman would say. He was the king monarch of Versailles, and in my humble opinion, probably the most interesting of all the French monarchs. His most famous quote is, "L'État, c'est moi." Literally, I am the state. He portrayed himself as the Sun King and had such might and power among his lands that he could make any decision he wanted without any discussion. He would ask for a pen and the whole room would be fighting each other for the chance to give him theirs, as to get in his good graces or be able to say they've done the great king a favor. This behavior was Nikola Fouquet's downfall. In 17th century France, Nikola Fouquet had spent enormous sums in building a magnificent chateau on his estate of Vaux-le-Vicomte. When the prime minister died, the position was abolished instead of replaced with Fouquet, the king's smart finance minister. In order to not lose the king's trust and regain his attention, he then planned the most spectacular party France had ever seen to show off his connections, cultivated manner, and charm. It was a great tribute to the guest of honor, the king himself. Thinking this move would make him an indispensable asset, Fouquet had actually offended his master, who was outraged by the fact people were more charmed by his finance minister than by himself. Fouquet unintentionally outshone his master, making the king feel insecure. He was arrested the next day and spent the last 20 years of his life in solitary confinement high in the Pyrenees mountains, for having stolen enormous amounts from the country's treasury. The accusations were false, but such was the price of his actions, best intentions aside. A second example would be Galileo Galilei, one of the greatest minds of the 16th century who used this law in his favor. Galileo was clever in observing this law by giving glory to his patrons. In order to solve his perennial problem of funding, he dedicated his discovery of the moons of Jupiter to the Medici, since the royal symbol of the Medici family was the planet Jupiter. He then commissioned an emblem for them, with each moon representing one of the suns who revolved around the patriarch. The Medici family became his major patron, appointing him their official court mathematician and philosopher, thereby giving him a more comfortable life and a steady salary. So what are the lessons we should take away from the misfortune of Fouquet and the brilliance of Galileo? Present your ideas in a way that they echo your boss's thought. Act less smarter than your boss. Do not take your position at work or in life for granted. Always make sure to make it seem like you want to seek the superior's expertise and advice. Discreet flattery is very powerful. The 48 Laws of Power is an outstandingly great book by an amazing author. The amount of research Robert Greene does on his topics is just ridiculous. I'll definitely read his works until he retires or I forget the alphabet. I'll make sure to cover every single chapter of this book on this channel in a similar visually animated fashion. I'm really open to suggestions and discussions in the comments, so please feel free to share your thoughts with me on any subject. And my question to you is, have you ever experienced this law? Please let me know. Thanks for watching.